Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come here today to just kind of give a little bit of just a lowdown of what makes this process so difficult and so, I wouldn't say taxing. It's just like the consistency is difficult, at least for me. Storytelling it's an art form, and I believe I'm still working on that art form. And so to get on here and continue to share not only stories but stories from my own personal life, it's a lot. And it's whether there's just 2 or 3 people watching or more, it doesn't make a difference. My stuff is out here now and it's available for anybody to reach it at this point. So it's just sharing myself with the world at large, and it's just a new experience, and I'm learning to embrace it and go with it, and it's going to take me a while to learn to be consistent with it. I'm a very feeling person. It took me a long time to recognize this about myself because I've been so guarded and so protective of myself, and not in a healthy way, more in a way of just like feeling kind of jaded by my past and by society, by the world. And so I was guarded in a way that made me kind of like tough, like a chip on my shoulder. And so yeah, sharing is new for me, and being vulnerable and sharing parts of me that I don't necessarily talk about to anybody. So doing this is very healing, but it also is very, I guess I could say, cathartic. Yeah, I started doing these videos last year because of everything that's going on with the spread of what, and I really could feel the collective panic and dismay. And I had already reached a level, or so I thought, of spiritual, of awakening. So I felt like I could at least give people insight on what it's like when we reach those dark spaces and how to navigate our way out of it. But of course, upon starting doing these videos, it's like I had my own life things going on simultaneously. And so I was, I don't know, I just decided to stop doing the videos because, my life is constantly in motion, and it's always shifting as well. Like I kind of go with that flow of the continual shifts because I'm still not quite where God and the universe intended for me to be. So I have to stay flexible and keep my life moldable for what my task is at hand. So I've been moving a lot and shifting a lot in the last year. And with that movement, I've had to recognize that some of the people I've kept really close to me were actually not for me. And a lot of these people, whether they were conscious of it or not, wanted to hoard my energy. And I take full responsibility for that, even though in a lot of that, most of these circumstances, I wasn't conscious either. It's like I'm living out patterns from my childhood, from how I was raised, my family dynamic with other people around me. And so doing these videos kind of set me on the path towards, it's like this is part of my path, and my purpose is storytelling, sharing my story and helping people through my experiences, sharing my experiential wisdom. But it's like as you step on your path, it's like the clearing has to begin. So if there are people in my sphere, what do they call them, like frenemies, just people who aren't necessarily on your team, or people who aren't necessarily ready to grow with you. They have to be identified in order to lighten the load so that I can get to where I need to be faster. And this is not to shame or disregard anybody that has been in my life. That's something that I had to come to as well. It's like, we think that because somebody's not a match in our life that they're bad, or that's an assumption that can be made about people, or even they're bad for us, like that person's bad for me. But I felt like the most neutral stance that I could have about people, where it just didn't work out, is that we're just not a match. Our energies aren't a match, and maybe we were a match at some point, but we are no longer a match. And that way of thinking has allowed me to let go a lot easier of people and circumstances of friendships that may have, been around for years, that I thought were going to last for years, that reached their limit and had to go, had to end. So those are some things that have happened in the last year. And for me, I didn't realize that a lot of these friendships and relationships were putting me in such an intense, deep mental fog. So I couldn't even be present for myself, let alone to do something like this, this is for the audience, but it's a big part of it for me. It's a way for me to release my story and connect with my tribe, like find people like me, find people who vibe like me, and who come from the same kind of experiences, and who are on the same path towards growth and expansion. So that's another reason why I put this stuff out, is so I can really feel my way to my people. So yeah, it's been a trip this last year, and because of releasing those relationships, it's like, oh my God, I've been going through the emotions of it all. And also, being that I've been such an emotionally cut off person for a long part of my life, these endings of friendships and relationships are bringing up a bunch of emotions. It's like the triggers are off the chain. And so a lot of healing is taking place as well. Feelings like anger, grief, feelings of abandonment, feelings of exclusion is a big one. And just feeling like misunderstood, that's the biggest one. Like, God, nobody understands me. None of my friends get me. Like, nobody sees me. And that's been something that's been really tough to come to terms with, is who I am, like what I'm capable of. I didn't realize until recently, like, how psychic I am. Like, I never saw it as that. I just thought I was just really keen on people, like, and now I'm realizing, like, no, like, you see what other people can't see. Like, I see beyond, I see in the spirit realm. So I didn't realize that until recently. And I think that's been a big thing that set me apart from people, and why I've felt not necessarily attacked, but just kind of like, and not even misunderstood. It's like when people recognize that I see them, they see that I see them, and so there's like an energy of defensiveness. And I've had this experience throughout my life where people will just like me, or they won't like me for no reason. And often these people might be putting up a facade, and I can see through the facade. I don't judge people for whatever, do you, unless you're being harmful or hurtful. But if that facade is meant to like manipulate or keep people in a certain trance or something like that, you know, I could see it, and people see that I see it, so then they're just like, oh, you know, they'll be kind of weary of me or treat me kind of sideways, you know, or kind of passive aggressively. So I've there's just been some people that have gone under my radar and they've become close friends of mine, and it's only because they're representatives, they're you know, actors in a play that I keep playing in this realm that, you know, stems from my childhood. So it's like I had to disengage from the play, recognize that the play was still happening, and rewrite the play. So I'm still in that rewriting phase. And um, yeah, it's a trip. Life is a trip. And for me, too, I feel like movement is very important for me. So going from city to city, state to state, country to country, I have to do that in order to keep the energy moving and flowing. And so I know what I need to do next. And eventually I will stop. I will find my home. I'll find my nest. But for now, that's how I'm flowing. Um, but yeah, that was a big one. It's just letting go of relationships that were no longer serving me or that were never serving me to begin with, you know. Um, and I think a big part of that is just like with these people that I've been allowing into my sphere and calling my friends. I see myself in them. I see, you know, my shadow side in these people, and so it's like me playing that out, like me playing out forgiving my shadow side, or being cool with my shadow. But these people may lack an ability to see themselves, so their shadow sides can leech onto me in very negative ways. And that's just been the pattern. That's been my pattern. It's just allowing people with really dark negative patterns to leech onto me or leak onto me, and then I'm left to clean up the mess. And in this last year, I actually got to the point to where I got sick. I mean, I got the dreaded V, and it took me 2 months to recover. And I would say longer than that, like 2 months till I was like out of the fog of it all. But to me, that was just a consequence of just allowing other people to navigate this ship, this vessel, mostly my mind. And I didn't realize that was due to, as well, emotional immaturity. I thought I was so emotionally mature, and just learning recently that, you know, I was still living out these childhood patterns through other people. So yeah, it's just heavy. It's heavy, and as I step into this purposeful path of helping others, I have to be really authentic. I have to be really vulnerable, and I have to be really honest. Like, I don't have this shit figured out. I will probably say to the day that I die that I'm brand new baby bear square. Like, I don't know shit. But I'm going to share what I know through my experiences. That I can guarantee. I have lots of experiences and lots of things that I've learned through those. So I can share that, and with confidence as well. Yeah, what else has gone on this last year? I mean, it's just been a lot. There's been some traumas that have been ignited within me in this last year. That's also what caused me to get sick. And that's just due to aligning myself with people who live in perpetual trauma and don't see the issue with that. You know, that's a big lesson too that I had to learn, was like, other people's problems aren't my freaking problems. Like, let that shit go. Yeah. So as I'm clearing all of this stuff away and recognizing who I am and what I need to be doing for me to be at a optimum place so I can give and be of service, I'm seeing all the sacrifices that need to be made. And as I go through the process of letting go, I'm recognizing they're not even sacrifices. Like this is essential for me to let go so I can really elevate. And more than just elevate, what's really important for me is to really strengthen my connection to God and my connection to my higher self, my highest self of selves, as I like to say. I really want that channel to be clear. I want to hear it crystal clear, feel it crystal clear. Like, I feel messages, I don't hear them, like I feel them. And I want that to, I just want it to be resounding. I want that connection to be so clear. So, for all those who I had to part ways with, like, I still love all these people. It's just what I can give energetically in this realm is limited. And I'm okay with that. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So now I feel like I'm in a much clearer place to be present, to do these videos and to be more myself and just kind of like get more into my creative groove. Like, I mean, dancing was like my biggest ultimate passion, and I still don't dance. Like, I don't know why I'm not dancing. So that's a goal of mine, is to like start doing dance videos and posting those online. So just really stepping into myself. Like, I'm gonna be sharing my stories, my experiential wisdom. I'm gonna be reading stories sometimes too, sharing my art journey. Like, I have some projects coming up, so it's just a mixed bag. It's a variety show. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for listening to my story. And the next video, I will be talking about, again, awakening into the void, just processing my dad's death, the first few weeks of that, and how I was able to navigate that. So thank you for listening to me and listening to my journey, and just how all these things, how everything is rolling out, and how I'm showing up, and how I plan to show up moving forward. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.